All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. My name is Arthur Gatton. I am your host of the Last Call podcast. Today, I'm here with Richard Brown, aka Richie Brown, from I Am Morbid and the Terrorizer. But I know him from Permanent Vacation, my local Tiki spot, one of my favorite locations. You guys have heard me talk about them till I'm blue in the face, and I absolutely love that spot. And Richie is one of the nicest human beings in the world. So I had to get him on the show. Thanks to Tamara for making sure I knew of his really interesting other sides of his world. So Richie, welcome to the show. How are you doing, man?
Great, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course. I've been dying to have you on. I know that Tamara had mentioned getting you on. I know when you recently had Dirty Dicks from Paris in your Scream machine was what was the Scream... Speed Freak cocktail.
Speed Freak, yes.
Speed Freak cocktail was one of the arguably best cocktails I had in forever.
Oh, wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah. I was standing next to Dr. Diz, and when he was filming it, and when I tried it, I'm like, this is actually fucking good. I'm like, is this just...
Oh, yeah. That's right. You all came in together.
Yes, sir. So definitely.
That was an amazing night. That was so much fun.
Yeah, man. That's one of the things I'm jealous of when you guys have these really unique people and the bar takeovers, all that, those partnerships and all that, building those relationships. I wish I could make it to more of those, but I'm glad I did not miss that one.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I've heard so many mixed opinions about that, but you can't deny that it totally builds community amongst people that have a similar passion, which I'm all about.
Yeah.
Like that's, really been the bread and butter for a lot of the reasons that I'm doing anything that I'm doing today is because I crossed paths with somebody that had a similar passion. And then years later, opportunities presented themselves and they're like, hey, I know somebody.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. So yeah, I'll let you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about the band you're in and what, you recently just got back from an epic trip. So I'll let you go ahead. Tell us about the band you're part of and where you just came from.
So right now I'm playing guitar for Terrorizer and I Am Morbid. Essentially at this point with both of those bands, I'm filling the shoes of people that I grew up listening to. So I definitely feel very fortunate to be where I'm at and have the opportunity that I have. And I do my best to do like justice to the music that was written. However, with Terrorizer in particular, we did complete writing a new album that we're working on right now. So that is one of the reasons why this year I'm not touring as frequently. It's more just like kind of like festival back home for a week, festival like here and there. Because we've been working really hard on this album and but yeah, those are the two bands that I play in. And recently I just got back from Belgium from Graspop, which is definitely one of my favorite festivals in all of Belgium. There's another really great one called Alcatraz. I love playing both of those. I was very fortunate to play Graspop before in 2024 with I Am Morbid. And it is just a wonderful festival. At this point, all the European festivals to me feel like a giant family reunion with all of my colleagues in the music industry. Actually, you mentioned our pop-up with Dirty Dick. After they did the pop-up at Permanent Vacation, we did Tiki A Go-Go together.
Yeah.
And then we did a pop-up at Maikai with Golden Tiki from Las Vegas.
Oh, shit.
And at the pop-up at Maikai, there was a Maikai bartender named Ethan. It was his birthday. He was there that night. He was there at Graspop doing as a tech for Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats.
What? So just happened to run into the same circles of people?
Yeah, I just happened to run into a Maikai bartender in Belgium.
That is hilarious. It's such a small world. And I love the fact that community just transcends like countries and all that too.
Yeah, I was we were laughing about it.
Bro,
it really is a small world.
I'm also looking at Graspop, for those listening at home, it says around 150,000 attendants. Is that?
Yes, it's a pretty large festival for sure.
That is wild. That has to be so exhilarating being on stage and performing around it and being around all those kind of people.
Yeah, yes, it's definitely. I mean, I definitely think that the U.S. is starting to get some more festivals that are similar to the European ones. Like I'm watching the culture grow, but it's definitely always been something that's been really prominent in Europe for sure. Like I said, I love spending my summers over there because all of the music festivals.
That sounds like a lot of fucking fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, but for so was music always kind of the end game for you? Was it the dream? Was it something you grew up passionate about, or is it just something that happened? Or what was that moment that you're like, I need to pick up an instrument?
Yeah, actually, ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be a musician, and also, I mean, I liked visual arts when I was really like young, like elementary school. But before I ever owned a guitar, I would like run around in the house like with a tennis racket, pretending it was a guitar, and it was actually my aunt that was like, "You need telling my mom like you need to buy your kid a guitar." And my aunt, actually, my aunt Marie, she bought me my first guitar when I was 8 years old. So I'm so thankful that she did that because she's like, this kid needs a guitar, because I was literally grabbing the broom, tennis racket, everything in the house, running around pretending I'm playing guitar, and she's like, just give him a guitar.
So you've been playing
And
since you were 8?
she got me like the cheapest guitar that you could buy, but it changed my life. So so thankful for that.
You've been playing since you were 8 years old?
Yeah.
That's impressive, Richie. That's a fucking lifetime of dedication to something. Good shit, man. I love the fact that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna buy him the thing that makes sense because he's wants to do it.
She totally saw what was going on, and she's like, give this kid a guitar, and I'm so thankful she did. And she's still, I know that she is really stoked when she sees where I'm like traveling or whatever. We still talk all the time. I'm very thankful to have that kind of support from my family. It's really amazing.
That's awesome. So you trained since you were 8, you took lessons, you did all that, you did band. Like what was that path? Or was it just like you knew the type of music you wanted? Because you're metal, right?
Yeah, actually,
how would you classify
I didn't take lessons. I took music theory class in high school, and it was actually my favorite class I ever took ever, but I got an F. It's like the only class I ever failed.
Wait, a professional musician failed music theory?
Yeah, literally the only class I've ever gotten like a grade. I've never gotten an F in anything. I got an F in music theory.
What was what was about music theory that didn't land? Because I'm curious. Because as a Hispanic dude, the one of the worst grades I've ever had in my life was Spanish, but I know my reason. So what was?
Well, it's because I think okay, so maybe we might be on the same wavelength with this. It's like you understand it so well, you have your own way of doing it. And they're like, that's not by the book. It's like,
yup, that's exactly the same reason. Like, that's not proper Spanish. I was like, but you knew what I said. Like, what the?
Yeah, it's like, I understand. I've always understood music theory, but it was never really something like you could argue what certain terms mean. And I think a lot of musicians communicate in different terms. A lot of people weren't trained the same way.
Okay.
And I definitely think it's important to be able to communicate in the more than just the traditional method of reading music or tablature. Everybody comes from a different place musically. So it's, it actually reminds me a lot, like whenever we did that pop-up at the Maikai, we had Maikai bust out an old Hamilton Beach spindle blender for us, because that's what we use at Permanent Vacation for the cocktails that we were serving at the pop-up. And then Dirty Dick is throwing their cocktails, Golden Tiki is shaking their cocktails. Everybody is doing a different method, and everybody is serving killer drinks and having a blast together. It was just like really cool to see, witness, learn from other people that are, doing something different, and just be a part of that is really cool.
That's actually a perfect way of translating that. Like for us, for people who learned without being officially trained on something, that you develop your own method and style to it all. Or for us, for Spanish, going back to that reference, we have dialects. so different. And I'm Dominican, so we're kind of the hood Hispanic. So we use a lot of slang that makes absolutely no sense and doesn't translate to a real word, but people know what it means.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to take Spanish class, I'm thinking it's going to be an easy A, and I end up with a C. So it sounds like
Wow.
you hit on the head. I was like, how did I get such a bad grade? It's my native language. Whatever.
That's amazing.
It makes sense. So when was the first band you were part of? Or was that like high school
actually,
band?
it was a band called Mindscar, which we were pretty much active up. I mean, we took a break for a while, but we were pretty much active up until COVID lockdown era.
Yeah, 2021 around there.
Yeah, we didn't really do anything after that. But it's definitely was like the first band I joined, and it ended up becoming my band. You know, like I ended up becoming the singer, guitar player, songwriter, and I still, you know, I still debate, like, should I pick this thing up? Like, it's still something that's close to my heart. You know, I that was definitely like my very first band, but I feel like it took me a long way because it's the reason I did the very first tour I ever did. And it really opened up my eyes to everything that I'm a part of today. But as a child, so I learned a lot, you know, through making a lot of mistakes, you know.
When did you start Mindscar?
I didn't start it. Actually, I joined the
join?
band, and I actually didn't even come up with a name, like, but it just kind of became, over a while, it kind of became me. And well, originally, my friend Mike Radford, one of my childhood friends, best friends in the world, he started the band with his older brother, John Radford, and they were doing like, more like covers and stuff like that. But I saw them play at the talent show in middle school, and I was like, oh man, I want to play with these guys, like maybe one day. And then I auditioned and we started jamming, and then that was it. But really, me and Mike developed a really great connection. And like John was a little bit older and left the band, and me and Mike just kept going with it. And we went through a lot of members over the years, but me and him, like me and the drummer, Mike Radford, were consistent members of that band for the majority of the time that the band existed. And on all the major recordings that we've ever done. But yeah, I mean, the very last lineup that we had going on was a lot of fun, and definitely, like I said, that was my first band. So I learned a lot. That was the first tours I did, you know, in a van, you know, sleep like 6 dudes sleeping on one mattress in the back of a Ford Econoline. You know, it was definitely, really learning the terrain, you know. Yeah. There's no really, I mean, there's Berkeley, but there's no, like, in every state, it's not like there's a school that is like, hey, come to school and we'll teach you about the music industry. The music industry is like, you have to jump in and figure out
trial by fire.
Yeah, it's like it really is. It's like jump into the fire, you know.
That seems a lot like what I also, perfect segue, the bartending industry too, because I know there's you pick your aunt bought you a guitar, middle, and at some point you started working at Permanent Vacation and bartending. Was there what was the reason for the venture into bartending, or is it just
you know, it's interesting. My very first gig in a bar was as a manager, and then I got into, essentially, like, quickly, because I came up playing music at a young age. I started working as like the event coordinator or like talent agent for a couple different local bars and venues, that, like, essentially bars that had a stage or somewhere in them, and were and the entire time I'm like, man, you know, it'd be fun to get behind the bar. And then one of my childhood best friends opened like the first brewery in Seminole County, Hourglass, my buddy Sky. And I ended up working with him there. And then whenever he expanded and And then, I mean, from there, I just really wanted to get behind the bar. Like as a manager, I was like, you know what? When I'm not on tour, I was actually passionate about the whole experience of being at a bar. Like I felt like I lived in a bar when I wasn't doing music, and because of my job. And it has become a passion of mine as well. Like I definitely have a passion. I know it sounds weird. So let me preface this. Prior to that, my entire, like when I was 14, I worked in the kitchen at a washing dishes at like an Italian place, but then I ended up waiting tables for a long time. And I just really, I've been in the hospitality industry basically my whole life. So it's something that I actually, I know it sounds odd to some, but I'm truly passionate about it. You know, like I actually enjoy the same way, like when I'm on stage, I feel like when I'm behind a bar, I'm literally the conductor of somebody having the best night ever. And it's something that I truly enjoy and definitely have a passion for. And have developed a huge passion for it. But yes, it essentially started out as managing because of music stuff, like bar managing. And then I started bar backing. And then from bar backing to bartending to bar managing to being a consultant and developing bar programs. So it's really been a long journey, but it's definitely been a passion project the same way that music is. And I feel like everything kind of stepped up at the same exact time. And one of the challenges that I'm sure a lot of other people that are passionate about both of these things face is coming home and not being able to maintain a job, like a steady job, because you left for this tour, you're requesting all this time off work. The cool thing is with permanent vacation, it's like the owner, the people that built the bar, everybody is a musician. So whenever I got these opportunities, they're like, go do it. You know, you have a job when you come home. So I'm very thankful for that. Like that means the world to me because I'm able to pursue both passions. And yeah, like with the music thing, it's brought me to a lot of places like, so it's definitely helped, I think, a lot with making new connections in other countries with other bars and stuff. So
that's awesome, man. That makes sense, right? There's the people on permanent vacation are really like very much family. They all look out for each other. I've never heard anyone speak ill of anyone in there. They all seem to love each other. Everyone. I remember I stopped at Packwoods and there was a former, I guess he used to I forget his name, but he used to bartend at permanent vacation and sent me a bottle to give to you guys. He's like,
yeah, Mark.
Yeah, it was Mark. He's like, I forget what the term is called, but he's like, for me to drop off. It was like an exchange. He's like, I'm gonna drop
boomerang.
That's what it was. He's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a boomerang. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Do I have to do anything? He's like, just hand it to them, tell them it's from me. I was like, all right, cool. But
yeah, thank you for doing that. We love that.
Yeah, you know, I'm always here to support everyone there and everyone I can, from especially our neighborhood bartenders. Everyone's been good to me. So it was funny. Just it reminded me how close you guys are, and how close that even though like, hey, someone's not working there anymore, they're still like, oh, you're going to PV? Hold on, don't go anywhere. And he made it a point. He wanted. I mean,
honestly, sometimes right now with the current staff we have, I'm like, wow. Looking at when we opened. I would go see Diz. Like we would all go see Diz at Trader Sam's. And now I get to work with him every Friday. It's like, I feel so blessed with the staff that we have.
Yeah.
It's, I'm very thankful for that.
That's awesome, man. And you're right. I was actually going to ask that there's a certain level of flexibility in being a bartender. So you can tour, like there's not that traditional 9 to 5. You just came back from Belgium. I'm sure we already talked about it. You're jet lagged. Imagine having to go right back into a corporate job.
I'll be at the bar every day this week, except for Saturday, because I'm actually not bartending Saturday. So I do have a day off, but we're also closed Sunday and Monday for prep. And whatnot. So I mean, there's definitely a balance there. It's just I do enjoy staying busy, and I'm and also too we have such a great team. Like you were saying, we're all really close, and I know that there's always somebody that's like, yeah, I'd be happy to work for you, because there's only so many shifts that we have,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and we have a pretty like in general compared to other bars, I would say it's like maybe on the smaller side, so it's like a pretty tight knit staff.
What got you into PV in the first place? Because there's a lot of bars around. But was it something about Tiki? What was it?
So really what got me into Tiki and permanent vacation, well, permanent vacation would not exist without Hidden Harbor.
Hmm.
Like are you familiar with Hidden Harbor in Pennsylvania?
I've
It's
heard of it,
a
but I haven't gone.
amazing tiki bar. The owner Adam is our owner's cousin.
Oh,
So he was inspired. Grant, our owner, was inspired to open a tiki bar because of Adam and Hidden Harbor, and then one of my childhood friends, Daniel Valerie, was part of the build out team. One of the main guys that still maintains it all. And oh shit, sorry.
oh, good.
um,
So because of those connections and people kind of connected to Hidden Harbor.
So essentially, whenever this is a good story, I gotta tell you this. So
Let's do.
essentially, whenever after they did the build out, it was like around the time of like COVID lockdown and all that. So the bar took it was built out for a long time before it was open to the public. And my good friend Daniel Valerie, that I'm pretty sure we went to elementary and middle school together. I mean, we played the middle school talent show together and all that stuff, and we still jam together and play music together. But he starts sending me these pictures, and he's like, "Hey, I built out this bar. I need your help on the bartending side of things." And I'm looking at it, and the photos look like Blair Witch Project. They're all blurry, and I'm like, "Oh, cool. He built a really sick tiki bar in his backyard, and he wants me to come over and make drinks." And I'm like, "Dude, I have a real job. Like, come on." Like, and I kept giving him a hard time about it because I didn't think that he was serious. I really thought he built a tiki bar in his backyard and was just trying to get his bartender friend to come over and like make him sick drinks. And I'm like, dude, no. And then one day I was actually with my partner in crime at Permanent Vacation, Dan. I was with Dan at Tori, where he was bartending at the time. And I told him about it, and he's like, "No, you need to go check that out." He's like, "I've heard about that." And then next thing you know, me and Dan are doing the bar program and consulting for the entire menu that we're still running today is the menu that we've had the day that we opened. But we do plan on updating it, but it's probably going to be more so an expansion rather than like a complete change. It'll be more so of an expansion.
Yeah. For those for those of you who aren't from here, Orlando, if you haven't had a chance, they actually do a fantastic job of their menus for those who want something on the lighter side and those who are more experienced drinkers, such as myself, and those who want to share a cocktail. So you go from, what is it, like tranquilizers, and you go through this rating system too, right? And they're almost riffs of classics and some original cocktails.
Yes, yeah, I would say for a lot of the classic tiki drinks, like a zombie, a mai tai, we are ours are, I mean, pretty much spot on to the original specs. We just choose the rums, we make our own syrups, we do the juice fresh. We do have some riffs, like the Predator is a riff on a Jungle Bird, the Helldiver is a riff on a Pearl Diver. But yeah, I mean, I would say all of our bartenders are very knowledgeable. So I mean, if at this point I feel like anybody that comes in the door, whatever their palate is, or if they're like, "Oh, I heard about this drink, I want that," it's like our bartenders are knowledgeable. They can take care of you. They can make sure you have a great time.
Yeah, and I will put my name on it. Like if anyone who's listening at home who's traveling and wants to visit when they visit Orlando, like I would meet you there for a drink. I've taken friends there that were completely shocked, not only at the atmosphere, how cool everyone is, how friendly welcoming the environment is. Strangers are hanging out and talking to each other. I go there and sometimes take photos of the events that you do and all that. Everyone is happy. I've taken a picture where people weren't happy to communicate, and it's kind of almost like a tight knit circle of people who are fans of the style of drink too. You see the same people come out, and it's always like insanely fun.
Dude, the one thing that totally caught me off guard about this, about like the community surrounding tiki bars and tiki adjacent bars. I mean, we've never went out and said, hey, we're a tiki bar. There's nothing that says permanent vacation tiki bar. Obviously we take direct inspiration from the classic, Don the Beachcomber. We have, a zombie on our menu, but, the one thing that totally like caught me off guard and is really amazing, I think, is like, I remember the first month we were open, some of our regulars, like my buddy Zach. And then I remember it was like maybe like a little bit after, like shortly after we first opened. And there's one night he stayed late and he's like, yeah, well, I'm going home tomorrow. I'll see you like maybe in a week or two. And I'm like, well, get home safe. Well, where do you live? And he's like, New York. And I'm like, what? And I can't tell you how many other regulars that I've met, amazing friends that I've made, that I see them all the time at work and they live in a different state.
Yeah. Anytime I have friends coming in out of state, you are permanent vacation to courtesy are the first two bars I take them to. Like I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? Like, how much of an experienced drinker are you? Are you also like, just kind of like to give them drastic differences in style? There's nothing quite like mixing up a refreshing summer cocktail or pouring a neat glass of your favorite spirit and stepping out into your patio as the sun goes down. But down here in Central Florida, we all know the one thing that could instantly ruin that perfect evening vibe: mosquitoes. You're just trying to enjoy the tasting notes, and instead you're swatting away the local wildlife. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with Burn Termite and Pest Control. Summer is right around the corner, and Burn is here to help you reclaim your backyard. Their targeted mosquito treatments are exactly what you need to keep your outdoor spaces comfortable, relaxing, and bite-free all summer long. So don't let bugs crash your next patio happy hour. Give the local experts at Burn Termite and Pest Control a call today at 321-297-7985 to get your yard summer ready. Again, that's 321-297-7985. Call Burn Termite and Pest Control, and cheers to a pest-free summer. All right, guys. Thanks for coming back, and hopefully you enjoyed that sponsor break. So one of the things I said, like we were saying, your bar is one of the places that I always try to take people to, because I think it's always a really cool one. It's eye-catching. It's a kind of like shock to the system, especially when you consider it's inside of Copper Rocket. So you don't see any of the decor and anything from the outside, and you walk in there and it's a completely different world. So yeah, definitely I love everything you guys are doing. Now I'm excited that you're going to have a new menu, because I'm curious what the hell's going to go on there. But you mentioned because of your jobs, both jobs, you travel a lot. So what random countries? You've been to Belgium. Where have you been? To Paris, obviously. Where else have you been in these travels?
Well, there was a bar I fell in love with in Bangkok, Thailand, called Sugar Ray Apartment. Okay. Unfortunately, they did recently close permanently. However, I did follow like some of the staff, and the director of the bar program there has opened like 7 other bars in Bangkok that I follow all of them. So hopefully the next time I go back, I can check out some of those. But definitely, also Singapore. I had the opportunity to explore the bar scene a bit in Singapore, and that was an absolute blast. Very inspiring. Actually, one of the ones that surprised me is I found a really amazing speakeasy that was making amazing cocktails in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Bulgaria?
Yes. And the entrance to this speakeasy is crazy. It's like you walk into a room off the beaten path of the main road that looks like it's somebody's house that you should not go into. but there's no one there to like answer the door or anything. You walk in and it's a tiny little room with like bookcases on the wall. And then there's one wall that has like a bunch of keys and locks. And you have to like put like 10 different keys in the right things. I tried to film myself opening the door, but after like 10 or 15 minutes, I just put my phone down. And then I'm like, this is like an escape room because it locks you in there. So until you unlock it, it's like you get into the next room and then you walk down all these stairs and it's like a cave underground where they're just serving amazing cocktails.
What's the name of this place?
Really Thailand.
What was the name of the Bulgarian place?
I forgot off the top of my head, but I could find it on.
I'll look it up.
I can find it on my phone.
I'll look at it in a second. I'll look it up for the show. I was just kind of curious so we can have it.
No, I'll find it and I'll text it to you after we're done with this.
Awesome.
I'll text it to you.
All right. So you ended up, that's Bulgaria. Sounds like a wild one, like an escape room to even get into a building. But when you
another crazy bar. I wouldn't say it was like a great bar or anything, but I'm like, this is like, it reminds me of the movie Hostel.
What?
I was in Krakow, Poland, and there's this bar that is. I discovered it because I saw blood on the street, and I followed the blood, and it brought me to this bar in an alley, and everything's painted black, and there's like animal skulls on the wall, and I'm like, oh, this place looks really cool, and I made the mistake of ordering a drink. The thing is, if you don't order a drink, it's actually a haunted attraction. But it's escape room style. But there's different levels, and the higher level they can tase you. So I ordered a drink, and I'm sitting there drinking a drink, and I hear somebody banging on the wall behind me, screaming help. And then they do have like a safe word, and they have like a team of people that extract people that say the safe word or whatever 3 times. And I was just sitting there. They lock all your stuff in a locker before you go in. You can't film it.
It
reminded me of the movie Hostel. I'm like, I'm in the movie Hostel.
That is wild. What the hell? So wait, why did you follow the puddle of blood? Did you know it would lead you to a bar?
No, I was just like, what is this? But it is a beautiful town, and honestly, they have like a torture museum down there, so it was like fitting to be the kind of bar that would be there.
Yeah, it's still wild to just. Richie, I don't know if you knew this, but most people wouldn't follow a puddle of blood into an like maybe it's just the hood in me. I'm like, I'm not following that. I'm going over here.
Yeah, it's like, where is that going?
You just said, screw it. This is like my yellow brick road. It's just a path of possibilities.
I mean, I followed it, and it just like looked like a Slayer album cover when I got to the bar. I'm like, all right, this is cool.
Like this is my people. This is the place I want to be at right now.
But yeah, so because of a liability reason, if you have one drink or a sip of a drink, that you can't do the haunted attraction. So we're sitting there drinking, and we're like, oh, this is a haunted attraction. We're like, how can we sign up? They're like, you can't, because you already have the alcohol in front of us. So it's a liability at that point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially
because they grab you. They tell you, even on like the lightest level, they grab you and they separate you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And
you're supposed to just let them do it. So
I'm gonna look this up. And I'm worried that I might want to do it, and I don't know if
I have some videos of it too, because they play in the bar. They have like live screens, and I got a video of somebody getting tased.
Send me that, please. I am so interested in what the hell that looks like. But these travels put you around. Like you worked with, we talked about them earlier. The people from Dirty Dicks. How is it working with them and those pop-ups when you get to go to those places? Like I know you said everyone does things a little bit differently, but
you know what? All right. I definitely want to talk about Dirty Dick, but there's this one place I forgot to mention that I need to mention because this bar definitely made a major impact on me. Is Baba Au Rum in Athens, Greece. Is one of the most phenomenal bars I've been to in my life. Like I highly recommend it. But Baba Au Rum, they have a regular menu. They have a rum concentrated menu. They have all the bartenders are like surgeons. Like they're so
precise.
I really loved that place, and they they had been gifted like some special, like really rare Japanese rum. And they let me try it. And I'm like, oh, wow, it was really like funky. And I'm like, I asked for if they would give me a daiquiri with it. And I was just so thankful. They were so generous. And it's definitely a bar worth checking out, especially if you like rum.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
But yes, as far as Dirty Dick goes, actually, I was really nervous when I did my pop up there that night. Even though I've become really good friends with Scotty prior to that, I actually met Scotty for the first time. I saw him in passing backstage at Hellfest in France because he was friends with a couple of the bands like Stone Queens of the Stone Age, and it was them and Foo Fighters that he knew those guys, and I kept seeing him backstage. And then at the end of this tour, my girlfriend met me in Paris, and we had a little vacation. She loves Disney stuff, so we do DLP. And I would say that in Paris, I mean, their culinary culture is unmatched. I mean, the food and the drinks, the level of the menus at these bars is very inspiring. And the first time I went, I had this long list that I made, and the very last day, my girlfriend Chelsea's like, hey, you need to go to the Tiki bar. There's a Tiki bar here, and you work at a Tiki bar. And every day we would go to like 10 different places. You know, we would go to all these different restaurants and bars. We were just trying to digest as much as we could. The very last day, the first place we went is Dirty Dick's. And we didn't go anywhere else. We stayed there until the bar closed. Scotty went, and we were getting like late night grub with Scotty, like after the bar closed. It was just, ever since then, it's, you know, me and Scotty have become very close. I've gone back to Paris several times, and the one thing that is the most, like, I think very honorable thing about the bar culture there is that a lot of the bartenders there, because of the tip culture, don't make nearly as much money as a bartender would in the US. Like, some of them don't make, you know, very much at all, but they maintain these jobs out of a true passion. You know, like, I'm not saying that like bartenders make great money, but like, you know, in the US, there is a regular like 20% tip culture or whatever. It's like, you don't have that in France. You have to, like, you know, let someone know, hey, like, charge me another transaction so I can give you a tip, basically. It's like, it's not even an option. People are surprised when you want to tip them. And a lot of the people that are like amazing bartenders are just doing this because they are so passionate about it. You know, it's like, I've met so many people that were like, yeah, my father is a bartender. My grandfather was a bartender. You know, it's like they take pride in it, where I think more in the States, it's a lot looked at like, oh, this is a job you have while you're in college, getting a real job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that more than once.
Yeah. I think that there's like a stigma with certain people that just don't really know, you know?
Yeah.
And it's definitely more than it's the same thing with music.
I was going to say, like earlier, when you said people look at you funny when you say that you actually enjoy the industry service aspect of things, like creating an experience for people, creating a cocktail for someone, curating an experience that's you're serving someone, or you're there as part of that both industries are making something for that's uniquely yours for someone to remember that experience. Music, food, and alcohol are three of the most universal languages in the world, and always have like this point in someone's mind. So there should be an appreciation for all three of those things. So it always makes me frustrated when I hear people like, oh, they're just no, stop, chill. like not. I don't associate with those kind of people who don't appreciate anyone in the service industry or music.
Yeah, it's definitely. I also noticed too, like early on, like from being in the bar industry so long too, it's like I would notice, like my personal, like my first favorite bartender that I would go to, you know, she switched bars, and I would still go to different bars to see my favorite bartender. And then I realized that I'm like, wow, it's like,
That
being a bartender, it's like you're a kind of a nomadic. You could, once you have some sort of like reputation of good work, you could really go. It's something that can take you around the world the same way that music can take you around the world with competitions, with pop-ups, bar takeovers.
Yeah, and just as easily, when someone gives you a bad experience, you will never go there again. You will never do it again. I've gone to a bar recently. I'm not going to name them, but it was while we were in Tampa, and very much like, raved about like the experience and all this ambiance, and the drinks were awful. Everything in there was terrible, but they were dolled up and beautiful. I was like, I will never come back here again. I'm not going to shit on them because it could be a bad night. It could be understaffed. It could be too many people. But I'm probably be a minute before I give someone give it another shot.
Yeah, I've had a similar experience at a couple of places where,
I'll be fair. I would give it another shot.
I hate when the dynamic of going to a bar is it depends who's behind the bar. It's like rolling the dice, and I'm like, I don't want to throw my money down the drain and roll the dice and lose all my money, for juice.
Yeah,
but there's a couple bars that I enjoy where it's kind of like that. It's like unfortunate, but I do see like a lot of bars across the board, like a lot of people caring more about what's going into the drinks, not wanting to have
additives,
sour mix in their house margaritas and wanting to have real lime juice. And it's like, I think that across the board, it's like people are getting more into having good ingredients in their drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see that happening.
Yeah. The standard of bartending experience is just different now. People are, I think, like you said, perfectly put, even food, everything, people are just more conscious of what they're taking in and what the differences are. Like I'm older. I can't just do Red Bull and vodka and Jaeger bombs or shit like that anymore. My body's just not like that. But I've noticed as you get older, at least when you just start drinking, consuming better products, I feel better. I don't feel terrible the next day, or I don't feel as awful because, drinking is drinking. So, and you end up enjoying the spirit and the experience more than just to like get drunk and move on. There's something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we got a little bit of a time limit because of batteries, but I want to make sure I want to just any crazy or unique story from either touring or bartending that you wanted to share. Do we have time by that little limit in front of you?
I thought of a couple earlier that I'm like, oh wait, that's way inappropriate.
Right.
Oh yeah, I thought you would like this. So whenever we did our US tour, one of the bands I play in, I Am Morbid, in the end of 2024 US tour, there was definitely a few days we were on tour with Suffocation.
Oh, nice.
And those are my boys, and they, some of those guys like me and Charlie like to have a drink together, and so there was a few days where because a lot of the times on the rider we get all this free alcohol and none of my guys drink, and I'm a bartender, so on the bus I set up my own little like on the go bar. Like I'm making simple syrup with like the microwave and water and sugar, and I'm like. I buy these like to go pitchers, and then on our days off, I would make like a pitcher of margaritas for like mezcal margaritas for the whole group of us or whatever that are drinking between the couple bands that we're with. But it was fun because we do get given a lot of alcohol that we just kind of throw away because nobody really drinks except for me, and I'm not going to drink a bottle of booze every day. I mean that would kill me. So I ended up building my own bar on the bus, and then people are like, "Oh, like Richie, make me a drink," and I'm like,
"You mix your two worlds at once."
Still bartending when I'm on tour at that point.
That's awesome. That's actually cool. You were like, you know what? I'm going to use both my skills here in between things. All right. So this is kind of a little bit of a rapid fire, and I'm curious about this because we did talk about Mindscar, about your band, and having that big the roots here locally.
Yes.
So. Let me see. So I have, excuse me, guys. How does it feel to carry that torch globally when you're thinking about your roots here and from Orlando? Because I'm assuming it was Orlando, right? I don't know actually if
Yes. Yeah. I came up here, like all the first shows I played were around here. I mean, it's awesome. I'm very thankful too that I'm with the people that I'm with now that are also, from Florida, and it's I love, like, I think just speaking on the subject of Florida, it's like growing up here. Mm-hmm. I think every kid feels this. Maybe as like a little rebel punk kid, I was like, as soon as I'm 18, I'm moving out of Florida because it's where I grew up.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I started touring, I'm like I remember the first time I saw my location like in the center of the country somewhere, and I felt claustrophobic because I couldn't get to the beach that fast. It would take me a while to get there. It's like I'm so used to living, an hour drive from the beach my entire life and having the springs, and I'm used to hurricanes. I don't know. I'm just used to the alligators. I love it here.
I love that. That's funny. Because a lot of people, I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, and I miss seasons. Yeah. So I think it's funny that people will often like, I can't wait to get out of where I grew up.
Wait, which part of New York?
I'm from Manhattan, born and raised, like 26 years. I'm from the Heights.
Oh, cool.
It's nothing like what Lin-Manuel Miranda says it is. No one's singing in the streets. Have you been up there?
Yes. I think the venue I just played most recently up there is called Monolith.
I've heard of them, yeah. So, funny enough, born and raised there, I did not have an appreciation for the bar scene because, for all intents and purposes, I was brought up in the hood, right? So we go to like Spanish nightclubs, we go to those kind of places. So you don't get I was young in my life, so I didn't get an appreciation for a good cocktail till much later in life. And when I figured that out, then I was like, holy shit, I was living in a city that had 30 of the most world-renowned bars or some shit like that, some odd amount. They're attaboys, like Death & Co., Paradise Lost, all these bars. Now double, was it Double Chicken Please?
No. Double Chicken Please.
Double Chicken Please.
I want to check out Bar Contra, Dave Arnold's bar.
Yes, and then Sip and Guzzle opened up recently, all that. I'm like, I lived in the perfect city for a fuck ton of amazing bars. Did not appreciate it. Now I find myself visiting when I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny we were saying when you leave that city you were born and raised in, you have an appreciation for it more. Like, even though I enjoy having a home, not an apartment, there are parts of New York that I miss. Public transportation.
Also, too, I will say that there is, because my very first bar job was bar manager for a dive bar. They're like a complete dive. And there's something nostalgic still for me. Like I am a regular a little bit at a local dive, and it's not a place I would order a cocktail from.
What is it?
It's more just a shot and a beer kind of place. But I feel like there's just some place that captures your heart with nostalgia.
Yep. There's a place in New York City that I like that is very much a college kids bar now. It's what is it? Johnny's Filling Station. No.
Oh yeah.
No,
that's Johnny's not it.
No, that's not the place. I'll send it to you later. I have it in my phone. I'm thinking about Johnny's Filling Station here. But in New York City, there's a place on 81st Street that I used to go to. I got to find the fucking place now. I'm blanked. It's been a long Monday. What's the dive bar here that you go to? What is a dive bar that has that nostalgic feeling for you?
Oh, for me personally?
Mm-hmm.
Here at home, Castleberry's.
I've never been there. Okay, I'm going to have to try it out. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'll drink a beer and a shot all day. All right. And
I mean, that's usually, that's my go-to. If I feel like for a lot of bartenders, however, there's definitely some, amazing local spots. Like I absolutely love going, any chance I get to go to Otto's is like,
I love Otto's.
I love Otto's.
I love Otto's. Justin's
Sunroom. I mean, there's so many awesome bars in Orlando, but it's funny. It's like at the end of the day, I'm probably just going to go to the one up the street and get the nostalgia, I guess. And I get that. Like, I think that also too, with permanent vacation for a lot of the locals, we're kind of providing that because we have some regulars that come in and they do just want it is annoying. It can seem annoying if you want to be pretentious, but we're not. Like if somebody comes in and they want vodka and Red Bull, I'm happy to serve them that. I want them to have a good time.
Yeah, it's their money, is their spirit. They want to drink it, drink it.
Yeah.
I forget who. I went out with Billy and a couple of bartenders a couple of times, and every time we go, it's just a local bar. Just get like seltzers and a shot and rumple and shit like that, and just chill. And that is arguably much more fun than like let me get 13 Mai Tais. No, let me just get like 6 shots of rumple, and I'm like. I believe.
Yeah, straight to the point.
It made me really. It was a funny moment because we were in Tennessee and we were at a moonshine company, and they're like, "Oh, who wants peppermint moonshine?" And they try to make it seem like it's a big deal, and I was like, "I'll drink it." And they're like, "Oh, no reaction." It's like I've been drinking a lot of rumple this last couple of years. Like,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
So, before we close, what's more gratifying or satisfying, creating a perfectly balanced cocktail that people enjoy, or performing a perfect set?
I would say performing a perfect set, only because it is like it's like it would be more comparable to like your performance in a cocktail competition rather than the creative process.
Okay.
So
if you
if I have like a bad set, it's something that like I can't sleep that night, like I know if I make a mistake on stage, it's something that's going to bother me for a long time. If I have a great set, I'm going to be on cloud 9. I'm going to be feeling great. So I think as far as creating great cocktails.
What about then if you compare the cocktail competition and succeeding at that, where it's an individual effort versus the big set?
Yeah, I would probably relate playing a show more to that, because that's kind of like you're being put on the spot, and like you got to put on a show. It's very similar. You're presenting something, you're giving somebody an experience that you want them to remember and enjoy. So it's more. I would definitely say more similar to like performing in a cocktail competition, which actually I've never done. I've never competed.
Richie,
any competition.
What do we do? I'm going to send you a list of them. Watch. The more I see them, I'm going to send it to you. Need to get you in one, man. I think you would do fantastic.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely there's been a few that I had my eye on that I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun. Actually, when I was bar backing, I competed in the Fernet bar back games when I was bar backing at Little Indies, and that was an absolute blast. But I mean, there's so many cool competitions, and I'm just I've just been so busy. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity when I have enough time. And I mean, I also too like creating cocktails for special events and all that. I feel like it's a constant laboratory in my kitchen at home, like I know it's the same with all of my colleagues that do the same thing. You can ask any of them, their kitchens at home are going to be like just tons of different like syrups. Like, oh wait, what's this? I actually bought a newer label maker recently just to label everything in my refrigerator. So I'm like, all right, I know what that is.
Awesome. All right. Well, Richie, been pleasure to have you. Where can everyone find you, support you, the band, PV, everything, and anything you want to promote coming up?
Well, you could follow me on Instagram, Richie T Brown on Instagram. And the links to everything else is going to be there. So, right. That's pretty much it.
Nothing coming up, no events. I know that you just came back from tour, so I don't expect, from a show.
So the next thing I have on the docket is a festival in Poland. It's, and like less than it's on July 4th.
Holy shit, man. You got to get some rest. All right, cool.
But I know I should know the name of this festival off the top of my head, but it's one that we haven't played before, so I'm not very familiar with this festival. So
we'll put it
I was looking it up.
We'll put it in the show notes when you send it over.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, Richie,
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime. Whatever we could do. Obviously, it's 2 weeks. I don't know how many until the festival. But cheers, man. Thanks for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun and super interesting. And I really got to talk to you about why you're following Puddles of Blood, but we don't have time to kind of break that down. I'm like, what?
We'll talk about that next time we hang out, man. I know I'll see you soon.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm always down to go to permanent vacation. But guys, for everyone watching at home and listening at home, make sure that you give him and his band a like, follow, subscribe, check them out on Spotify. I actually added them. I'm following both bands to kind of be able to. So honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be introduced to a genre that I don't have super experience in. So giving it an honest to fair shot, because I think that there's a lot of value there when you especially look at the lyrics and listen to it all. I was like, okay, Richie, I see you. Doing the research got me more familiar. But definitely, guys, like, subscribe. If you enjoy what we're doing here, give us a 5-star review. If you have any ideas for the segments that we're doing called I should make a drink to that, which is me as not a bartender. For those at home, they're like, get up in arms about content creators making drinks at home. I've never called myself a bartender. I'll tell you later, Richie. If you have any ideas of something that you're inspired by or think that would make a cool drink, send it my way and we'll experiment with it and fuck around and find out. As always, drink responsibly, take care of yourselves, and be kind. Good night, guys. You know, there's nothing quite like mixing up a refreshing summer cocktail or pouring a neat glass of your favorite spirit and stepping out into your patio as the sun goes down. But down here in Central Florida, we all know the one thing that could instantly ruin that perfect evening vibe: mosquitoes. You're just trying to enjoy the tasting notes and instead you're swatting away the local wildlife. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with Burn Termite and Pest Control. Summer is right around the corner and Burn is here to help you reclaim your backyard. Their targeted mosquito treatments are exactly what you need to keep your outdoor spaces comfortable, relaxing, and bite-free all summer long. So don't let bugs crash your next patio happy hour. Give the local experts at Burn Termite and Pest Control a call today at 321-297-7985 to get your yard summer ready. Again, that's 321-297-7985. Call Burn Termite and Pest Control and cheers to a pest-free summer.